Alright, so at today's Nintendo Direct, the first teaser trailer for the Mario movie 2 was released, and it's a bit different from what we were expecting. The first movie obviously doesn't need much introduction, came out in 2023, and it made a lot of money at the box office. $1 billion, one of the highest grossing movies of all time, and one of the highest grossing animated movies of all time as well. It was a massive win for Illumination and Nintendo, and it proved to be successful with casual audiences and fans of the games, even if, admittedly, the movie could have been better. It's no surprise that a sequel was inevitable, and a year later in 2024, they would announce that a sequel would come out in 2026, and on today's Nintendo Direct on September 12th, they finally announced the name of this sequel, giving us our first hints as to what the movie is going to be all about. Mario Movie 2 will be titled The Super Mario Galaxy Movie, obviously gonna be based on the two critically acclaimed Wii games, Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2. I'm not gonna lie, this was a little bit unexpected. I'm not against the idea of them making a movie based on the Mario Galaxy games, but I always felt like that would be more fitting for like a third movie, you know? I mean, let's face it, there is going to be an inevitable third movie regardless. This thing is gonna make bank, we are gonna get a third movie, that's inevitable. But I would have expected a movie based on the Mario Galaxy games to be like the third installment and not the second installment, you know? I remember a few months ago, there was this whole thing where like the title of the second movie was seemingly leaked as being Super Mario World, like the domain for it was registered or something like that. And I guess that ended up not being true at all. I guess that's not gonna be Mario Movie 2. It's not gonna be based on Super Mario World. As we all know, the first movie had a post-credits scene teasing Yoshi, and Yoshi made his debut in Super Mario World, so, you know, it made sense. It made sense, but I guess that's not what it's gonna be. Mario Movie 2 is gonna be based on Mario Galaxy and not Super Mario World. In all fairness though, I don't know how you can have a movie based on Super Mario World and make it all that different from the first movie. Now, we all know that Mario is not exactly known for great, compelling storylines, with a few exceptions here and there. There wouldn't really be much to make a movie based on Super Mario World different from the first movie. I mean, obviously, yeah, there would be new characters. Yoshi for sure would be included, I guess Daisy as well, maybe Wario and Waluigi if possible, but like having new characters that weren't in the first movie I don't think would be enough to make it different from the first movie if it was based on Super Mario World. So what is the Super Mario World stuff supposed to be for? We're not gonna know, I don't think. Not for the time being, at least. At the same time, though, I can't help but feel like having a movie based on Mario Galaxy would be more fitting for, like, a third movie, and not the second movie. You know, it's kind of like with Sonic, where Sonic 3 is the one that's based on Sonic Adventure 2, and it just feels right that way. I don't know why, it just feels right having the third Sonic movie be the one based on Sonic Adventure 2. It would feel really off if the second movie was the one based on Sonic Adventure 2. Unless the first film was based on Sonic Adventure, which it obviously wasn't. I think the best way that this could have been handled is they have the first movie stay exactly the same. The first movie is just a general Mario movie and that's it. It's not based on any specific Mario game. It's just a general Mario storyline. And then the second movie would be based on a specific game, but rather than have it be Galaxy, it would be Super Mario Sunshine instead. And then for the inevitable third movie, it would be based on Galaxy. I feel like that makes a lot more sense. I feel like that flows a lot better. I don't know why, it just kind of does. We're inevitably going to get a Mario Movie 3. This thing is going to make a lot of money at the box office, and we're going to get a Mario Movie 3. But the question is, how are they gonna follow it up? Like, how are you gonna follow up Galaxy, you know? They can't do Galaxy and then Sunshine, because that is a bit of a downgrade. How do you go from outer space to the beach, you know? Maybe Mario Odyssey, you know, I could kind of see that. I could see them doing, like, the third movie is based on Super Mario Odyssey. I don't know. Again, going back to the Sonic comparison, you know, the first movie is just a general Sonic movie. It's not based on any specific specific Sonic game. I guess you could make the argument that it's based on the first Sonic game, but I don't know. And then the second movie is based on Sonic 3 and Knuckles, with a few elements of Sonic 2 thrown in, which that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to do that. And then the third movie is the one where they take that big risk and they adapt Sonic Adventure 2, the beloved fan favorite game of the franchise. And I feel like it flows more naturally. It would be weird having the second movie be based on Sonic Adventure 2 and the third movie be based on Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Yeah, numerically it would fit, but it would feel off. The flow would feel off. How are you gonna follow up Sonic Adventure 2 with Sonic 3 and Knuckles? You know what I'm saying? Now, the movie was literally just announced, so obviously there's not a lot that we know about it. It's gonna be based on the Mario Galaxy games. I don't know if it's gonna be like a completely original story that has elements of the Mario Galaxy games in it, or if it's just gonna be a direct adaptation of both games, or a direct adaptation of just the first game. I don't know. Now, they didn't show it off in the teaser, but given the fact that this is a Mario Galaxy movie, that means, yeah, it's pretty much inevitable Rosalina's gonna be in the movie. They didn't announce that she was gonna be in the movie, even though it is incredibly obvious, but that also means they didn't announce who's going to be voicing her. I hope y'all are ready to see Awkwafina voice Rosalina. I mean, the names rhyme, for crying out loud. They did announce that a lot of the cast from the first movie would be reprising their roles in the second movie. Jack Black is going to return as Bowser, Anya Taylor-Joy is going to return as Peach, and of course, Chris Pratt is going to return as Mario. I can't believe it, guys. We got a sequel to this infamous image right here. We finally got a sequel 4 years later. Holy crap. I'm not gonna lie though, this sequel image doesn't feel anywhere near as iconic, to be honest. I predict that sometime in October we're gonna get like our first proper trailer for this movie. We're gonna see like Rosalina is gonna be in the movie. Direct confirmation, no pun intended, 100% confirmation that Rosalina is gonna be in the movie, even though it is pretty much inevitable. And we're also gonna find out who's gonna be voicing her. I feel like that's gonna happen sometime in October because the first movie came out in April of 2023 and this movie's coming out in April of 2026, and the first trailer for the first movie came out in October of 2022, and so it would only make sense that the first proper trailer for this movie would be in October of 2025. Technically, what we got here is the first trailer for Mario Movie 2, but it's more just a title announcement, as Nintendo puts it, and naturally, it's not going to really tell us a whole lot about the movie. One thing that I will say about this teaser, though, is that the animation looks absolutely gorgeous. I know Illumination doesn't exactly have the best reputation, but I will give credit where credit is due. This animation looks absolutely amazing, and because this movie is going to be based on the Mario Galaxy games, it's going to be largely set in outer space. I am ready for some absolutely jaw-dropping gorgeous animation right here. Stuff that I would never expect from Illumination. I remember when the first trailer came out for the first movie, and it's like, there were shots in it that were like, holy crap, this looks amazing for Illumination standards. Like, this looks genuinely beautiful. And I'm ready to see that happen again, except this time in outer space. Alright, so the movie will inevitably have very gorgeous animation, and it's going to be a massive success. There's no denying it. This is going to be a billion-dollar movie. It's based on two of the most beloved games in the Mario franchise, as well as two of the most beloved games of all time. But there is one burning question that I must ask, even with all of this in mind. How good will the movie be? I don't hate the Mario movie, the first one, but I'm not gonna lie, I think it could have been a lot better. There's no denying that it is very faithful to the games, and yet, if you look past all of the Mario elements that are in it, it's just your typical animated movie. There's nothing really amazing about it if you look past the Mario stuff. It's just your standard Illumination fare. It's not a bad movie, it's watchable. Hell, I'd say it's one of the better Illumination movies, and yet it's still a 6 out of 10 at most. I don't hate it, but I do think it could have been a lot better. Is it weird that I'm nostalgic for the pre-release hype surrounding this movie? Like, I look back more fondly on the pre-release hype for the first movie than the actual movie itself. Is that normal? Like, I get nostalgic just thinking about the hype surrounding the first trailer's release, you know? That was like, you had to be there. You actually had to be there, man. I wouldn't be surprised if the first proper trailer for this second movie would also be a you had to be there moment as well. I really want this movie to be amazing, and I hope it ends up being significantly better than the first movie, in the same way Sonic 2 was a massive step up from Sonic 1. But given the fact that this is Illumination we're talking about over here, yeah, I am cautiously optimistic about this. It's gonna be massively successful, but how good is it gonna be? A Mario movie, especially a Mario movie based on the Galaxy games, should be an absolute knockout of a film. But given that this is Illumination, I don't know, you know, I am a little bit concerned about it. At best, this is probably gonna be like, you know, it's fine, it's decent, best case scenario. But I feel like a game as amazing as Mario Galaxy should have a movie adaptation that's also just as amazing. Regardless of how I may feel about this movie itself, I'm not going to deny that it will make a lot of money, but there's something that'll tell me this movie could end up being a potentially bigger disappointment than the first film. Disappointment in the sense that it's not a bad movie, I don't hate it, but it definitely could have been a lot better. There's a lot to be left desired about it. This movie is going to be absolutely gorgeous with its animation, and it's going to be based on two of the most beloved Mario games. The idea of this being your same typical Illumination, decent at best slop is pretty concerning, to say the least. And I can only hope that this movie ends up being a massive improvement from the first one. To go from a 6 out of 10 movie to a probably 8 or 9 out of 10 movie, hopefully. But if it ends up not meeting these expectations, and there's a very good chance that it won't, again, this is Illumination, I don't know, I feel like it's gonna hit harder the disappointment, you know? It's like if Sonic 3 ended up being worse than the first two movies, you know? The one that's explicitly based on the fan favorite game ends up being inferior in quality to the previous installments, you know? Thankfully that never happened with Sonic, but I could see it happening with Mario. I'm looking forward to the movie. I hope it ends up being amazing, but I am cautiously optimistic about it given the fact that this is Illumination. I don't doubt the possibility that this could be one of the better Illumination movies similar to the first movie, but I also don't doubt the fact that it could very easily be a 6 out of 10 movie at best. You know, I could see it being very mid. I will never not find it depressing, the fact that the first Despicable Me from 2010, 15 years ago, was the peak of Illumination. And also the fact that Despicable Me is 15 years old will never not be depressing to me either. We're getting old. We're getting really old. Anyways, that's about it. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to like, and if you're new to the channel, maybe consider subscribing, as it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and I will see y'all next time. Adios.